Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to NFT Live on the Web3 network. Over here. Go Stars, by the way. We got another game against the Golden Knights tonight. It is NHL playoff time. It is Q2, fellas. It's. I guess it's been Q2 for a little bit, but I just woke up and decided I wanted to be a part of it. What's going on? Biggie Poppins, Huda, Gift Dead. We are going to get after it here today. Nick Swervis and the rest of y'all hopping in here. Easy, Christian, and you guys watching over on X. Appreciate you joining us here today. We're going to get started. We're going to talk some alt chain news. We're going to talk some competition here in that quarter that I just mentioned that we preside in today. But let's go over to my co-host. We had an awesome morning. Say what? We were joined by the Jellyverse team. We were joined by Nev. And then in GM Web3, we were talking all these meme coins. Love to see it.
Can we take a moment to appreciate Q's new look? It only took my man like a couple years. But wow, he really dug into the control panel over there and figured out this. Look how bright and glorious.
Shining. Now,
crazy what 10 seconds will do.
Now we need to get him to like hang that skateboard and that.
All right.
On the.
You're asking a lot.
Whoa. Don't ask too much.
5 minutes.
You're pushing it, big guy.
The man plays lacrosse. He can't handle a fucking hammer and a nail. 2 minutes. God damn it.
Didn't realize I was getting flamed early on the show today, but I'll check our dashboard. Maybe I missed that part of it. Justin Gacy saying GM looking good.
He noticed
you, sir. Yeah, even before Gift said that he did notice. John was saying
spam the compliments.
BJ. All right, easy. I'm gonna rein us in here. Huda, GMD, sir. Nice to see you for the first time this week. What's going on?
Yeah, man. Dude, can we just talk about dog all episode? That's all I want to talk about. The runes, dude. It's like I'm just getting excited about those things, like out in the wild. And yeah, good point. We hadn't talked this week really, so first time talking since runes went live. And post halving, and it just feels like a whole new world that I like, man, I'm all about it. I'm here for it.
All right, Fisker saying I'm hyped for this episode. We are hyped for this episode. We are going to talk some runes. I'm interested in your reaction now that they are live and in the wild, Huda. So we'll dive into that here in just a moment. Gifted, give him a nice little intro. If you want a speckle disclaimer too, you can add it in there. I don't know.
I can?
You can.
Oh, all right. No, what's up, y'all? Happy to be here with these amazing folks. Hoot is back. It's a good day. Dog is flying. Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about that. I'm excited too, of course. But yes, let's go ahead and get it out of the way. Everybody's favorite part of NFT Live. It's the best part of the show, and we're just gonna lead off with it. We're not gonna keep you waiting, and that's the old handy dandy. We all know how much you love us reminding you consistently over and over and over every single episode about this one thing, and that is that thou shalt not speckle. You shouldn't speckle, at least, which is translated loosely to we're not financial advisors, because we're not, and it's important to remind everyone that. So okay, we basically have said it, but really take a moment, stick it in your head, stick it in there, the frontal lobes.
It's like one of the 10 commandments, but you probably
it's the one commandment.
Those.
Break it repeatedly.
Don't break
it's the one commandment. There are no laws here except for one.
Usually we get better when we do this stuff more. Gifted, I think we took a step back today on the disclaimer. We took a slight step back on the disclaimer.
I'll see myself out.
All right. Anyways, we are getting started here in just a moment. Market doesn't know what it wants to do. We are, again, who knows? It could change by midnight tonight, but we had a little bit of a pullback here in the last hour or two. Several coins down, 4 or 5% here in the last hour or two. So Bitcoin sitting around 65, Ethereum 32. I mean, these numbers look great if you compare them to last week. So at least zoom out a little bit. We are doing what, kind of stares up potentially. We'll see what happens over the course of that time. Let's see the top performers in that time. Looks like Algorand, looks like Memecoins did extremely well. You can see Bonk over the last 7 days. So Solana Memecoins, Dog with Hat is up 36% in that 7-day time frame. Let's see some top losers. Beam, BitTensor, Wormhole. Stacks, and it looks like Say's in that category, man. But it had a really nice run up here. It's in the top third of the top 100 here. When you zoom out to 7 days, you can still see some top performers in that time. So extremely volatile times here as we kind of again are sitting directly here in Q2. Love to see it, man. Anything you guys want to start the show off with? I do have a couple like non-crypto things I want to share.
I just hope that the Pepe futures listing on Coinbase is an indicator of a full listing on Coinbase. I don't know. That's one of the things that I care the most about right now because it's one of my biggest bags and it's top of mind because we just did a whole episode on GM Web3 digging further into memes and everything that's happening with them. But yeah, I kind of love the whole Pepe story because it's pretty deep. It's the original internet meme, but also what's happening with Coinbase right now, because you may or may not remember that when Pepe initially popped off and it was getting a bunch of traction, Coinbase made the mistake of shitting on Pepe and sending out an email blast to all of its users saying, we don't condone this type of these types of tokens. Don't buy it. It's terrible. Like, idiots. And then within 24 hours, they were walking it back. They had lawyers on X, on Twitter, apologizing. So to see them now starting to list it and perps futures and all this stuff, it's one of those beautiful moments where the community and the degenerates are actually like, you know, making waves, like really sort of changing the direction of the entire space. So I don't know. I just hope there's a full on Pepe listing on Coinbase soon.
All right, we are getting some links thrown in here. We're going to check out runes here in just a second. I do have some not necessarily crypto related news. I touched on this here in GM Web3. So those of you that are here for 2 episodes, you're going to get a little heavy dose of both. We did see, actually before that, let's jump into this. President Biden officially signs bill to ban TikTok unless its owner ByteDance agrees to sell the platform. So Biden with the old sign off here. But this one,
yeah,
we've entered a new era of life. Like it was Harambe in 2015, and then we had COVID, and now we have post Department of Transportation cash refunds for delays and cancellations.
That's big. Holy shit. Similar to, did you see yesterday the FTC banned all non-competes?
Yes, yes, 100%.
What is going on right now with these like really, really big kind of fundamental changes?
I think you know what, Huda, some good changes. Like it's weird.
Can I tell you what I think it is?
These government agencies doing things that actually make sense.
It's the election. It's the election.
It's gotta be.
They have to make some meaningful, like, quality of life improvements before the election in order to make a case for why they stay.
I'm gonna use that excuse on everything until the election. I'm gonna start saying that.
Some of it's legit, and yes, it's a funny joke because we can just say fucking, you know, thanks Elon for everything. So yeah, it's like that. We can get funny with it, but I do think that part of why you start to do these things and see it all happening in the year of an election is because they want to make a case,
motherfucker,
for why they're staying.
You know why? You know why he's doing this?
Yeah,
because he's broke.
Because of an election. It is actually. Like, if that's not wrong, I'm just gonna have a fun time with that meme.
Yeah.
All right. The other piece that I wanted to bring in here, that's kind of like ish crypto related, but not necessarily to like any type of like specific bag gains or, you know, talking on direct meme coins and stuff like that. Although this one is a meme coin, guys. This Doge, Own the Doge, was a DAO that bought the IP license to the original Doge picture. So this IP license, and it's an awesome, this is the best thing you'll see all day. This woman, Atsuko Sato, is the owner of the Doge. The dog's name is Kabosu, if you don't know. Also, into the video. If you kind of just like sit here and watch a 3-minute video, I know that's crazy in today's day and age, but you can. It goes into the story of the Doge, all of this, and then Own the Doge DAO going into buying the IP. They talk about the dog is like 13 years old now, so it's like close to, like they had a Doge day. Let's go.
Dude,
just
imagine what happens to Doge's price.
Doge.
Just imagine what happens to Doge's price when this little pup passes away. Just saying.
Dude,
I know it's morbid.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. This lady looks all nice, but I know she's got a freezer full of vials of this dog's sperm ready to sell to the top bidder the minute this dog dies.
Wow.
She is the Japanese Cruella de Vil. I'm not buying these little cute things that she's got behind it. It's all an act.
But Biggie,
where did that come from, Biggie? Do you have any info that we don't know about this woman?
Disdain for Disney, I don't know, but it did come into my mind, and I had to.
No, she's catching some strays.
Possibilities. You never know. Look at her. She's just so wholesome and kind, and she's got perfect skin. Like, I'm not buying it. No.
So this Own the Doge DAO that's purchased this license is giving us a lot of info. Look at how cute the
I don't trust your skin complexion.
Okay. Real quick. Something you did not know. I don't know until I saw this video. I didn't know that Doge actually means do only good every day.
It does not, because you need a D at the end. It should be Doged. You don't get every day. It's just every day. So Doged. You don't say do good every day. You mean it means do good every? I'll take it.
Jeez, where's this? This
are you serious?
Anger down to the fucking bottom of it.
What is your Grinch problem today?
It is one word. It is
weird FUD. Yeah.
Who to tell him?
It is one word. Every day.
Anyway,
it is 2 words squished into one, and I know.
Why did Marty talk to you this morning? What happened?
This is a Biggie clone. This is not Biggie Pop.
This is not.
What's going on? Marty was like whispering out. I'm like, yo, Biggie, we need some more FUD today. The things are getting too optimistic. There's not enough blood in the streets, Biggie. Just go out there and FUD everything positive. Yo, but my one question on this theory, this conspiracy we have about Doge sperm is it unvaxxed?
You want to already, right?
Launch unvaxxed Doge sperm. Somebody launch that. You're welcome. That's the next $1 billion meme coin. Unvaxxed Doge sperm. You're welcome.
Okay, I'm just gonna try to again put some semblance of light back into this. I don't know why we're in the pit with Biggie Poppins right now. Let's see. They said really something really nice. Hold on. Over the past 3 years, Own the Doge has tirelessly champion Doge's legacy, collaborating closely with the dog itself, the creator and custodian of our beloved Kabosu. So they bought the IP. They've done a couch auction for this lady who, like, the Doge is sitting in the famous photo on a couch. Like, it's fucking cool. Like, Biggie Poppins, watch that 3-minute video. It'll melt your heart. Anyways, we have to move on. Also, do only good every day.
And that
is one word.
Okay, can I make one other comment about that?
I just Googled the meaning of Kabosu.
Mute him. Don't even let it. Thank you. Bullish for memes.
He's still talking.
Well, I hope he doesn't even notice, right? He's just going. We flip back to him and he's still going. But like, right, we keep seeing these memes getting auctioned on Foundation, and like super bullish because that's what they did basically. They bought the rights to it, and then now they're making all this merch and shit. Like it's pretty cool.
Which meme?
What's that?
For which meme?
We saw, let me think, a few weeks ago, we saw the Shiba Inu dog, I think. Right now on Foundation is the guy in the bar who's talking the mansplaining meme. That one right now is on Foundation. Yeah. So, wait. No, before was the dog with hat. That is the one I was thinking of. So the dog with hat photo. Now we got the, guy in the bar mansplaining to that, his girl or whatever. There's something to buying those and then making merch, and you know what I mean? Like
we saw that in the NFT bull run, right, of 21. We saw like Charlie Bit My Finger and a couple of those other memes actually got sold for NFTs. So there's a little bit of a precedent.
Bull market indicator, that's for sure.
Yeah,
those wouldn't sell for an ETH in that bear market we just got out of.
No.
Right?
Dude, I think Charlie sold for like 750. 100,000.
What's his name? Fucking founder of Twitter's first tweet sold for like 2.5 million. Jack Dorsey.
Yikes.
Yeah. I mean, look, the fucking Dookie Dash key sold for 1.6 mil. So it's you know, what are we gonna say about that?
All right. One day Biggie Poppins is gonna have to explain what the woman who owns Doge did to him.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from, sir. That was a full villain arc.
He got fully triggered.
You need a villain to spice.
That's fair.
But
he looked at her face and he's like, she's too nice and too happy. How do I destroy this person?
Dude, Biggie, I'm like that a lot, but with that one, wow.
I don't know, man.
Actually, genuinely sweet.
I will say though, like this narrative of like Doge means do good every day. Kristen Jensen just gave me, you know, the right to blast that. That's marketing, folks. It's not true. That's not what it means. Somebody came up with it and just, you know, is peddling it deliberately to warm your little heart and get you to buy whatever this lady's gonna start shilling once she gets her hands and dominates that DAO.
Let people have fun.
I'm here for it. Yeah, I'm here for it.
In this chaotic mega storm that is crypto, there was a brief moment of bright light via this woman who owns Doge, and Biggie snuffed that shit out.
Yep.
So quick. All right, here's something that will make you laugh, and then we'll get into the direct, again, more crypto-focused stuff. Polymarket. This was fucking hilarious this morning. So Polymarket had to come out with an official response because, and they deleted this. I tried to find the original snapshot, but from the you have it?
I'm pretty positive.
Okay, please send that to me. Basically, they put a Karen from one of these, like, you know, suit and tie organizations up, right? They took a snapshot of her responding in like a DM saying, hey, you know, sorry about the first time that we contacted you or you contacted us. Like, we need to kind of come to the table again, which was basically, again, like a TLDR, like, okay, crypto's a real thing. The normies are coming back. That's what it was supposed to be. They added the tag, guess who's coming back? Look at this retardito or retardio, whatever, however you want to do. And now they've fired the intern that posted that, and they made a full official response. So it's just lulls in the morning from Polymarket here.
Intern, wherever you are, shout it. Give us a shout.
Please, we will hire on stage and tell us the story.
We will hire you, sir. Because look, the hilarious thing about this is that, like, now anything that is named retardio, I'm like super bullish. This is the type of thing.
How's this coin doing?
This is the type of thing that creates legends within Web3. You know what I mean? So it's like this type of narrative and story, the anti-Karen, like the Karens hate retardio. Like, I'm all in. Tell me where to send my fucking money. What presale or wallet is launching the next retardio thing?
Apewood here saying he doesn't even own it, but this token's gonna moon now.
Yeah, because of him, and he doesn't even own it. Exactly.
All right, so I don't know, Huda, if you have the post. I couldn't even find it, dude. Like they scrubbed the whole internet.
It's a little different than what I was thinking it was.
Oh, okay.
Like, here's what I was thinking this was about, and I'm dropping that link here.
Oh God.
Oh.
Maybe it is the same thing, and I just wasn't understanding. But
the thing is, Polymarket is absolutely like a degen.
Yeah,
product.
I remember seeing that.
Was this it, or was this totally separate?
Hilarious. I think.
Oh my God, Phantom got involved in this,
right?
Oh.
And there's no IO. It's just straight up.
This coin is flying right now. I'm headed over to Dex Tools.
This is amazing. So, like, here's the thing. If y'all don't know what Polymarket is, we haven't really talked that much about it on the show, but it's like one of the most degenerate gamble sites out there.
Is it?
So this is kind of like saying that you don't fully understand your customer base or respect your customer base to take a Karen stance against our culture.
Fucking Karens. Right. Karens and techies.
Here's the chart, folks. Here's the chart. This is on the 4 hour. So yes, the volume has kicked up a little bit for retardio. However we want to name that, retardito.
Retardio.
It's Retardio?
Retardio.
Okay. Anyways, you guys buying this?
No, but definitely buying the Retardio anything else that is early, right? Can I say real quick too, dude?
I love our job.
Like, okay, I try to be careful with words sometimes, and like I'm not some woke fucker, but like I'm really glad that Retardio is getting to be a little more okay to use. I'm just putting it out there.
All right.
It's a word. It's in the English lexicon, right?
It is.
You're clearly not alone.
It's like it's fun. It's harmless. It's an okay one. We'll find out if it is.
Clearly, the crypto market is just dying to get after this.
Yeah, this is
all right.
Amazing.
I loved that story. Hopefully that brought some joy. Those two stories, obviously, one of them didn't to Biggie Poppins. But guys, let's
having fun, and you know it.
Let's get back to the story here today. Appreciate you joining us on this NFT live episode here on a Wednesday. I'm just wow.
Who is about to do something? I see him.
I just had a question. What was their apology about a different use of the word, not that one that we put up on screen?
No, so the original so that phantom response was in reaction to that original situation where they snapshotted a DM of this woman and then put the text there. Clearly, DP is not a fan of this. This is a fairly divisive conversation we're about to get into. So, anyways, let's hop back out again. The market's not doing that hot, at least today. Over the last 7 days, they're doing pretty well. Runes was a big one. This was, again, building on the hype from ordinals and everything that's been going on with Bitcoin. Runes launched over the weekend. I think it was the weekend. Maybe it was a little bit before. Yes. Anyways.
It's 420.
Oh, yeah.
You were there.
I was there.
Yeah, dude. I was so happy you guys all came.
Who do you remember when I was there the whole time?
Of Anarchy.
You were from start to finish.
All right. I want your take here on Runes. We've covered it early in the week, and I would like your take here on how you think the Runes reception has been. Has it had more hype, less hype, or kind of on schedule for what you thought we would be sitting here on a Wednesday with Runes?
It's probably exactly where I thought it would be. Dude, it's hard to gauge because there is like a ton of FUD for it. There is also a lot of people who are extremely hyped about it, aren't selling it. They believe in this new, not token standard, but new protocol, like long term. It's just super interesting because the fuddy voices are very loud and have an agenda, and they're actually people I also agree with at the same time. And like I'm talking about Udi there, Udi, who is being pretty darn fuddy about Runes. He's also not wrong with his FUD, right? Like he's correct. He is correct that they trade just like BRC20s, but he also has got his agenda of this helps OPCat, this helps Cat VM. Like Cat VM fixes all of this. So like little agenda there. As far as how they've come out to market, they're exactly like I expected. They're hard to trade, so I don't think they're going to explode yet until they get on centralized exchanges where you don't have to worry about fees, where they're very accessible. And I think we're well on our way there, given what we've seen. Little teases from Binance. We see the listings on OKX already. It's all coming. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it's come out so far.
Yeah, we talk about Friction all the time, and Friction is a friend of profits, all this stuff. This is where you buy Runes here on Magic Eden. Talk about Friction. I mean, this user interface is
horrible.
Which is like, yes, you're probably going to make a ton of bags here using this interface as it stands now.
And believe it or not, better than most of the other ones. Like that's how tricky it is. Because other ones you got to like kind of buy a bundle at a time. It's not easy.
Yeah, like you can see you got a slider here. You got a slider.
That's the innovation.
Yep.
What they're really touting as their innovation is that swap that is not live yet. But I don't think we've ever had a BRC20 to BRC20 swap. So I think this rune to rune swap would be new if that's what it does. It may just be swap Bitcoin for rune. But again, if they build it more like a DEX and you're swapping runes for each other, that could get interesting too.
Yeah, the question mark to me, the biggest one is around what does that look like to try and get it on a centralized exchange? Because I don't even understand how you take what this protocol currently does and make it something that a centralized exchange could use. So like, Huda, I don't know if you actually have any insight into how it transitions or gets sort of repurposed in that way or packaged up in a way that a centralized exchange could use like a normal sort of swap.
Yeah,
situation.
I don't think I'm just this is my dumb caveman brain like thinking out the scenario. It may be that they just buy a bag and all the trading again off chain, so they just come up with their own thing. They keep track of it on a spreadsheet. That's all they have to do, really, is what I've always assumed. I almost think it's that easy. And I don't know if I'm wrong.
So it's kind of like they create their own derivative around it, like they wrap it up in some way, just like an ETF or something else around these tokens. Okay, so that makes sense. It's just like, yeah, like how many of them get to the point that it's worth it? Is there enough volume and enough interest for centralized exchanges to try and figure that out? Because
you know what? Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I just cut you off.
Well, I do think the point is that like there's probably some additional layers of work that would have to go into executing a centralized listing. And so that's where you have to try and get a sense for, is this actually a big enough play that they're going to want to take it on?
Yeah, spot on. I'm hoping that Binance doing the work already for BRC20s makes the onboarding process for runes much easier. And like they have teased it, so I feel like that's coming soon. But like the holy grail is Coinbase for BRC20s and runes, and they do have Ordi perps. So it's like kind of like you were talking with Pepe. It's like there might be, like there's a lot of hopium out there that means something more is on the way. And when that happens, man, I think that's when all hell breaks loose. Or really the floodgates just burst wide open. I think
all
it's
right,
coming, dude.
XNFT is agreeing with Huda here, saying dog to the MF and Moon. Jaw was saying air delay insurance is smart contracts is already a thing, or via smart contracts. Easy and Crypto says, what's AI Pepe King meme coin on base? Cat's Fanatic saying, how much does the holder do that one more time, Biggie? that is the look. That's the look.
It's the retardio look.
Yes. Cat's Fanatic saying, how much does holder count matter with runes? Let's answer that.
How much? I think it matters a lot. I mean, I think it separates them from the rest of the pack. And man, I can't remember if we already said this in this show or if it was like something before, but I mean, you need a storyline, you need a narrative, you need something that's catchy to other people. Like the audience that this token, this rune is targeting, it is normies. It's not us, right? It's normies. They see the most popular token. It's not yet, but it is. But like they see the most popular token, the most widely held, whatever gets it in front of them. Like exchanges are going to see that holder count, right? And they're going to want a piece of the fees associated with that being traded with so many people, right? That attracts normies. So yeah, it's just that. It's about the story, and that's kind of the only reason it matters.
Well, it's more than that. It's fundamentally distribution and volume. And the fact that what they've achieved, Leonidas and whatever his team is, I don't know how big his team is, over 75,000 holders out of the gate, which is like more than 3 times, I think, the next biggest rune by holder count. That is something, because it does somehow directly correlate to the amount of transactions and volume. And on Bitcoin especially, each transaction is much more costly than other chains. So the volume is going to be crazy. I don't even know how they're going to be like factoring fees into total volume, but I assume you've got to be factoring that in somehow, because that's what's rewarding the miners. That's what the miners give a shit about. And that's what helps secure the network is volume. So like this shit does matter. And I think narrative's great because like, yes, like that's part of it, but I think it's much more fundamental than that, is that these numbers have implications for what they're doing on chain, for the data that they're creating and the fees and the value that's being generated.
How does that holder count stack up to like Pepe or WIF or any of those? Like, I don't even have a number in my head for those.
So I think Pepe, last time I looked, had like over 1 million. You can go look on, I don't know, but Pepe has a lot of holders at this point. I was just looking at like yesterday or the day before, but I forget. But you can see.
Hey, Gif, real quick, I'm gonna reset your mic. Go ahead.
Check. Yeah, if you scroll all the way down, I know that they have analytics. Or you might need to click on analytics, actually, sorry, and then like scroll down.
Yeah, no. Continue your thoughts. I'll try to find it.
Yeah, it's in here somewhere. Or actually, I don't know where it is on this. I usually
Probably be part of the contract.
Coin market cap is where I usually go, and I know that they have it. But yeah, I think Pepe has over 1 million holders now, if I remember. So 75,000. That's less than 10% of what Pepe has. But again, out of the gate. And okay, let me draw a parallel here.
No, click on the Pepe word up there. Yeah, that one, and then go to holders right there next to transfers below. Yeah, okay.
209,000.
Okay.
I don't know. To be fair, I don't know how that works on centralized exchanges, right? Like I don't know if they have it on chain. Yeah.
But let me draw a parallel here that I think is informative or useful. So one of the things that I talked about being a really strong bullish indicator, like a buy signal for me with NFT projects, specifically like PFPs or like larger scale projects that can actually get, scale, like data at scale, where you can look at like holders and trades and volume and all this type of shit, is what I was saying is when you start to see a collection, a project that separates itself from its sort of competitors or the other projects in its same ecosystem by a multiple, that's a massive buy signal. And one of the first ones that really popped out, and this like was a warning to me, was on Mad Lads. So very early on, what we saw was within the Solana PFP ecosystem, Mad Lads started doing 2 to 3x volume of the next closest, like Claynosaurs or whatever at the time was like the next biggest PFP project on Solana. And I said like, holy shit, that seems really important. I bet Mad Lads keeps running, even though it's already super expensive. And then it kept fucking going and it kept mooning. And so what I'm seeing here is kind of a similar scenario where if you compare it to like the next competitors in its Runish ecosystem, and you see it's doing 2 to 3x multiple of holders, which is going to become some multiple of volume already out of the gate, it's probably going to do very, very well. And I don't know what that means for short term, midterm, whatever, but I just mean the fact that like what I would say is if we see it over the next couple days or the next week or two continue to like see some kind of multiple of volume or holders or whatever it is over the next closest ones, that to me is like, holy shit, this thing is going to go crazy.
Yeah. It's so interesting too. It's like, these guys are very ambitious. The guys on Bitcoin who are making these runes, and it's like, yes, they're targeting. They want to be the next Bohm. They want to be the next Whiff, but really, they want to be the next Sheeb. They want to be the next Doge. They want to see $100 million market cap meme coin on Bitcoin. And I guess still with the type of liquidity in that ecosystem, with the market cap of Bitcoin and how young it is, it's so weird to call that ecosystem young, given it's the first. It is the oldest blockchain. But the fact is, it is young as far as the
culture, the different type of culture,
the culture, and also the tools, because, like, again, no smart contracts. It never had that.
And
that kind of stuff, the programmability, it's all coming. It's really, really wild to think it's coming. And people want the meme coins there. I feel like this stuff has a very good chance. Probably a year or two off. I don't know, but it's got the spidey senses tingling. I'll say that.
So Christian Jensen making a fair point. He says only 75K holders because it was airdropped to 75K though. But it doesn't matter. It's extremely costly to do that. So the point is it's still distributed far beyond any other rune at a very important point. So again, I think what's important is what I was trying to get to at the end, which is let's watch it. Don't take it for granted that means where it'll be. But if you start to see this be a pattern or a trend that, again, over the coming week or two, it continues to be performing at multiples above the next rune, that to me is extremely bullish, because what that means is that distribution strategy worked, right? So it's like you can call it out for what it is. Yeah, he airdropped it, but do you know how expensive it is to do that? That's not an easy thing to achieve.
Yep. I'll just say too, I pointed this out earlier today. The market seems to like it too, because after Dog came out, after people realized it was in their wallet and it had a little time to marinate in the market, and it still hasn't been long, but the price of Runestone went up. The price of Prometheans went up. The floor prices on both of these. So the market is liking this. People are more bullish on runes today than they were yesterday, for sure.
Biggie, you got any last words here?
I have a lot of words, but I don't know if
you had a lot of words about this Doge lady.
Futter, a villain. How dare you, sir? I have my thoughts there. I think I love big audacious goal, and that's why I love keeping track and seeing what happens in this ordinal ecosystem, right? Like I'm very bullish on people like that. But my thesis obviously was formulated way back, and 100% back bias. Like I am mostly bullish on L2s operating over Bitcoin, right? Than directly on the monolithic stack. Though within all those different solutions that have risen their heads, which to me is 3, it's like Runes, RSIC, and Opcat. Opcat is the most intriguing, that I'd like to see play out. These others, though I am playing them, I'm not sure that they're going to be sustainable. Having said that, like I don't think they're going to go to zero or disappear either. There are solutions, things that fix that, like L2s, right? If they were not to be able to perform, and like I think that's the part where I feel like you will hit limitations, whether it's the people that are building the UI like Magic Eden and BRC 22.0 that is coming up, right, Huda? Like I think that inevitably you will hit upon these limitations, and to me it's very simple, right? Like it's like these guys are building stuff that is already on top of tech that's pretty old, that already existed. And I don't know if you've ever like walked up to a group of nerds and just felt completely lost, when they're talking in code. It's like, I uploaded it to the T960 and then I downloaded it to the 364, but the fucking throughput wasn't good. And you're just like, what the fuck are these people talking? They love making things like I feel like their flex is like, let me show you how I can make something work in a place where it's not supposed to, or that wasn't built for that, and that's their flex. And it's awesome to see, like, these are people like flexing their mental muscles and seeing what they're capable of. And it's very niche, but at some point, for the larger audience, like these guys, I feel like are building something, and it's like, if we build it, they will come. And it's like, sure, show up at the airport and see somebody get into a fucking Ferrari, which is Blast or Base or whatever, and then you show up with a fucking moped and be like, here you go, so have fun touring the city. That's, to me, a little bit of what I clash with, right? Where it's like, there's so many ways to make money in the meme coin casino. There are many casinos. There's a Solana casino, Blast casino, Base casino, and we understand the super duper market cap that is Bitcoin casino, and we all want people to play there. The thing is, for the past 10 years, it has not been a casino. It has been a place where you store value and you don't move it, right? And I understand we're gonna evangelize some of these people, right, and get them to play DGen. But in the end, I think the UI, the UX will come to bear, and it'll force people to either adopt what we've seen other monolithic, infrastructure like Ethereum eventually have to acknowledge, which is that your solution is L2s. Unless you were purpose built from the ground up, like Solana, like others, monolithic chains that are already intended to be able to handle these different fucking money Lego proposals that you see happening out there. Remember, I'm not a futter, I'm not a fucking villain. Yeah. I'm just trying to poke holes in this fucking theorem and like the expectations that everybody has.
I feel like a boomer
in the game, so I am playing. I'm just like not 100% sold on it. That's all.
I feel I'm with you, Biggie Poppins. Like I feel like a boomer when I bring up these points of like the coolest things I see happening on runes is that people are getting more runes. Like that to me is not a sustainable type of way to build out an ecosystem. Now there's way more liquidity. Like I think for a protocol that we were in for a long time, for still to this day, and our proponent of is Say. But there wasn't as nearly as big a well. Like Say is a pond. It is a droplet in a vast ocean that is Bitcoin. So the liquidity is way more. Don't get me wrong, but the process of like, here, own this thing so that you can get something else is not long-term sustainable. And we've already seen that play out on ETH. So I wish there were cooler things being done. Is kind of like my take.
There are on L2s. On L2s.
Yeah. Yeah, it just every time we talk about this, like the community or the comment section or the things that I see across my time, I was like, check out what I got for having this. It's like, dude, that's not a fucking utility. Like
no, but that
6
you
months
gotta
from now.
recognize signs. That's a sign of being early. And like, okay, so
it's the people that retrofit these like Game Boys and other stuff and like upgrade them, right? Like now it's iPods, I think, like these new iPods, like people retrofit them and like they put games on them and everything. And there's a market for that. Like geeks love that. And there's YouTube. Like I'm not snubbing it, but for most people, I'd much rather play a fucking PlayStation, sir. You play with your Game Boy with fucking Snake on it. I'll go play fucking PlayStation. I think the majority of people are like that. It's very hard to convince them to adopt, you know, the moped when there's a fucking Porsche sitting right next to you, right? Especially if you're gambling. It's one thing if you're like saying, hey, buy this piece of art. It's on Bitcoin, the most...
I don't think I don't think people care about the medium that much, Biggie Poppins. If there's enough money, I don't think people care about the medium for making it.
You will care when the fees are astronomically high, the friction is like intolerable, and you're going up against an armada of people that have substantially more edge than you. People like Huda that know how to work.
That last part is the main factor.
I'm sorry.
But that is that is people's biggest mistake. The biggest mistake people are making, because it is like, dude, I saw a thread from Thread Guy. I have seen so many tweets talking about how you have an advantage if you're in this like info stream and how it's so inaccessible. It is exactly like Ethereum was at the beginning when the OGs weren't sharing what they knew. They were minting from the contract. They were winning everything. They were making piles of money. It's the exact same thing happening over and over again. Man, imagine if all of us decided we weren't going to get into NFTs because it was a little tricky at the start. When OpenSea didn't work, right? Like it's the same thing happening.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Huda, and I feel like there's a little bit of mid curve happening in this convo right now. And it's like, look, you either decide you want to try and play this game or not. And I think it's at the end of the day, it's that simple. You say we all know we can't do everything. Like there's too many things, and I love the saying, the man who chases two rabbits catches neither. Like you have to stick with the things that you're comfortable and you have conviction in and that you understand and you have that edge. That is true. So like I'm being very careful for the most part and dabbling, because I while I think I have an edge on the normies, I don't know that I have an edge like Huda or a lot of other people. And so I know that I'm not the foremost expert in Bitcoin, but I also know that this is an early opportunity where there's going to be a ton of fucking action this cycle, and I'm not gonna fucking mid-curve that shit. Like, yes, everything that y'all are saying is true. Like there's problems, and I think that the truth of like even Huda's admitting out front, one of the first things he's saying is like, once it gets better infrastructure, better user experience, that's what it needs to really take off. But we're all seeing that like that's how development happens, just like ordinals. Dude, when ordinals came on in fucking January of 2023, I didn't fucking get into it until 9 to 10 months fucking later. I took my sweet ass time with that because it wasn't something I was comfortable with. This might be the same thing. It might take another fucking 9 months for runes to actually get there. But I think
I do want to make
different discussions real quick.
Yes, there always is.
Right?
Yep.
Two distinctions. One is like inscribing and holding assets on Bitcoin. Bullish, is it going to be here forever? Yes, I do believe. Having said that, the rails that will be used to transact and operate on these, that's the part that I'm questioning a little bit. I think the best shot is Udi's Opcat, or the one that I find most intriguing in respect and want to see play out. To me, all of these things you have to watch play out to eventually get to escape velocity, which is what GIF is talking about. What is that infra that is going to be able to enable the normies to feel comfortable to transact and to do all these other different things? Udi thinks it's Opcat. I think it's L2s. We will see it play out. But one thing is not going to change. Dog, Satoshi Nakamoto, drug money, and all that shit is going to exist, and there's going to be value to it. It's just, is it going to play out in its current form with its current rails, or is it going to be put in a wrapper and transacted on an L2, or is it going to be taken by Udi, you know, and his Opcat process? We'll see.
So I really like XNFT's takes on the show. I think this is actually one of the best like main principles. If I had to have like 3 to 5 principles that I like just pass on to the next person who gets into crypto, this would be in it. He's saying taking the time to do things that other people are too lazy to do always pays off in crypto. The people who faded ordinals are just doing it again with runes. So I want to hone in on that first sentence. Taking the time to do things that other people are too lazy to do always pays off in crypto. Now, using the term always, I wouldn't use the term always.
That was the
but
only
I would
part.
substitute. I would substitute
sometimes,
most of the time.
Most of the time.
Why would you not want to take a chance on that scenario playing out?
Exactly.
On Bitcoin.
That's completely fine. And dude, I don't think I don't want to say anything substantial happened in the ICO run. Like we got a lot of really cool products. I think Solana honestly came out of that late cycle, but there's a ton of products that are still around from that. But if you just use the mindset in that cycle of just being like, I'm only gonna buy the things that are really gonna be that thing, like you missed out on the whole thing. Like the bullshittiest thing, like completely was the one that went 100, 200x. So just don't do that in crypto. I'm not, and I don't think Biggie Poppins is either, saying fade this stuff because it likely will do really well for the reasons that these guys are mentioning. So, all right, guys, we have to move on.
Can I make a quick comment here?
One
Not
last
about
comment.
that, actually, but someone pointed out to me on Twitter, like some ETH NFTs are really starting to kind of run out of nowhere. Bored Apes at 13 and a half. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. So that was actually the next comment. I didn't want to spend too much because I don't feel like being the guy that's like, screw runes. Let's talk Bored Apes. Like that just sounds
I'm happy to do it for you.
No. The one thing I'm super interested in here is like multiple people are talking about this now at once, and it might be because they're looking at the Twitter algorithms and just seeing more people talk about it, or the price change. I don't know. But you see Degentraland, you see Thread Guy now commenting like an hour ago on this stuff. Like everybody's now somehow talking about.
I just noticed, and maybe it wasn't there before, but Magic Eden's got a multiplier on it for their diamonds.
They've had that.
Is it always been there?
Okay. Yeah. Like right when they launched, they had it.
So remember, Yuga is exclusively trading on Magic Eden now. So yes, there's all types of partnerships and incentives to trade.
I'm gonna reset real quick. All right, go ahead.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey.
All right, guys. Before I bring up this tweet, this is NFT Live. We're gonna go for about 15 to 20 more minutes with you guys. We're gonna. I don't want to be the BAYC guy. This is actually just happening now.
You are the BAYC guy.
I don't want to be that guy. Is what I'm trying to say. All right. We got to talk about Blast, Base, and some other things happening. Say and Jellyverse actually had a pretty cool update this morning. That team actually joined us on Say What in the morning as well. But yeah, let's jump in. Before we do that, leave a like. If you're over on X, leave a repost. It's not an X. I guess it's like a. I don't even know what do you even call that?
It's a repost.
But it's like a in perpetuity sign. What do you even call that? Infinity sign, maybe?
The cycle of
They'll
life.
just put a heart on it or something. I don't know. Comment. Do what you got to do. Anyways, appreciate you guys for joining us. We will be back
It's an
again.
NFT market cycle.
Got him. He did it. All right, here's Thread Guy. Huda just mentioned that BAYC is over 13 and a half. They were like right around there. They, I think, bottomed out around 9. Like there were some people saying, hey, sub 10. So it was like 9.8 were some sales that happened. So we're up to almost 14. Yeah, so they're continuously selling. So now they're at 13.88. This is happening pretty quickly. Who knows what that is? That's like 3 Bored Apes, by the way, that volume on the 15-minute. So keep that in mind. But Thread Guy posting here, Bored Apes have socially bottomed. I don't know what happens to price, but there's no possible way for sentiment to go lower. This is an interesting take because it felt like all the way down we were saying that. Like it can't get any worse socially or like sentiment or price, all this stuff. But apparently it's going to be cool to say this out loud, I guess now. Every popular BAYC PFP left and sold. It's normal to scroll the timeline. Yeah. It feels like the BAYC imagery became so cringe it can transform into counterculture again. I don't know what happens to price, but there's no way to dunk on Yuga that hasn't been done. I'm not a buyer, just an observer. This feels like a pretty low-hanging fruit post, to be honest, when BAYC pumps from 10 to 14. This is everything we were saying on the way down. Is my take from this.
Look, I like Thread Guy, but I'm also curious what of his posts and takes aren't low hanging fruit. Just saying. I think that it's probably right, and I think that it's good to see. And I want to talk about other ETH projects, so I'm just gonna not say anything else.
Gift Head's upset he doesn't own his ape still. That's what it is.
Oh, happy birthday, apes! I wish I still had mine for sure.
Huda and Biggie, I don't want to take up too much of the airways. I feel like we do talk about BAYC enough. It just seems to be like we have this one moment of inflection where we moved from 10 to 14 very quickly. Could be 9 a month from now, but your takes right now.
Biggie, go first if you'd like.
I can't speak too much to it. I don't think the Bored Apes will ever fade into irrelevancy. I do hold them in high regard, as well as Yuga. I know there's a lot of FUD and bullshit about it, and a lot of it fair. But I very much agree with the sentiment that's going around right now, which is I've never wavered on, and that is that provenance matters, that communities that have been through thick and thin matter and are very attractive to people. It's what people want to belong to, and I think you see it right now playing out with the Kongs. You're going to see it with BAYC and some of these other communities happen again. You know, like just because they're like the floor price is down doesn't mean that there is like absolute gems of people there like working nonstop to change things around, right? And I think Yuga and Bored Apes are one of those that have the team, the community, and the war chest to pull it off. And so I'm very much looking forward for them to have their time in the sun, just like I'm very happy for the Kongs having it and other communities in the near future. It's just people fading boomer art, as they like to say these days. But sorry, like you can't fake that. It's on the blockchain. And, you know, you can see the people that have belonged to that community through thick and thin. I have a lot of respect for people that have been able to do that, right? Like holding it through these periods of time is not easy. Remaining in the space and engaging counts for a lot. It's come to bear. I've seen it in my own life, you know, as I go off to these other ecosystems and like the things that I've been able to bring to those ecosystems, and vis-a-vis that, you know, to me, that's the most rewarding part. That's the value that I get from being part of these communities. And I just think it's a matter of attention. And right now, maybe we're not so focused on that. Although, again, I think it's changing. Bright Moments, Xcopy, Squiggle Sweeps, you're seeing all of it. It's going to come back, and with the PFP communities, I think it's going to be the same.
I think my favorite thing about covering this space, I'll be super quick. My favorite thing about covering this space, other than like getting to sit up here and chit chat and just like shoot the shit for the most part, like that's a fun ass thing to be doing on the daily, is that we get to like in real time see case studies that like you could write like the history of NFTs and crypto and all this stuff, and like we can go back and say like, hey, we were there. Like of course all this stuff kind of melds together when you're covering it on the daily, but I think Garga being with BAYC and staying there and the change to CEO, I think if he didn't do that and like Garga left or just like initially faded out, I think BAYC would die. Like what he's done in the last 3 months has been what you see with the sentiment change. And I think it's 2020 vision, obviously, but I think BAYC would die without him.
Well, and let's hope that momentum can continue. And I think, again, we're positioned really well to see a lot of positive momentum picking up over the next year, few months at least. Let's hope that this is his Luka Nets moment, you know, where Garga really starts to get the respect that he deserves as a leader. There's very few out there, though, you know, that are legitimately great leaders in the space that can stick to a vision. And again, we've talked about there's many case studies to look at. And yeah, you're right, man. It's the history of this space that we're getting to participate in, which is really fucking cool. You know, it's an honor to get to sit beside such amazing legends as these people up here on stage and shoot the shit and, you know, beat up our ideas and talk through different theses as they fucking form and whatever. Get to hang out with y'all out there who actually show up. I don't even remember the bigger point, other than I think what I was trying to say is that I think what we're seeing with art or some big collections and
hold on.
collections Check.
Go ahead. You're good.
I think what we're seeing is a really solid foundation for what I hope and think will eventually develop into the next NFT market. Again, timing wise, it's really tough. I don't think NFTs are gonna really pick up until after altcoin season, which may still be a couple months away. So NFTs may not even really pump until later this year. I don't know, but I think that we're seeing a foundation forming for what could be that next, NFT bull cycle.
I'm going to give Marty a shout out here, even though he thinks I disagree with all of his takes. I don't. I think he's been right a lot about Bored Ape Yacht Club in a lot of ways. And one, he's making a funny comment, was the World Economic Forum the bottom? Maybe we go back and see it. I think his take on Gordon and Garga have been somewhat more right than a lot of what the community expected. I think we thought maybe we could transcend whatever that was with this huge war chest and ApeCoin DAO. Like we can move into this next segment, but it's very clear that the success of the project is still tied very closely to the success of Gordon and Garga. So he's been right on that.
It's real leaders, and again, Daniel Allegre, this fucking big shot COO, couldn't come in and get it. He couldn't figure it out. He had a whole year, 2 years? A year.
He had a year. I'll give Biggie the nod too here. Like we're seeing the opposite of that, right? Of the effect on the proof ecosystem, right? Of the founder fumbling and bumbling and all this stuff and what it does to a crypto community.
Being extractive.
So it's just like I just look back on it now and I'm just like, wow, it matters even at the top flight. Even the number one collection, if you will, in crypto is tied to a little bit to their founder.
Yeah,
if not a lot of it. So, all right, I'm not going to take up the airways here with BAYC anymore. We did have a Jellyverse update here. I'll drop a link. The airdrop for this big DeFi tool and platform that's coming to Say is now live. You can actually claim some 150 jelly. You could potentially win more. They're doing like a raffle system for 10 other winners, or 110 other winners, it looks like, but 10 are going to receive 10,000 jelly. And that is live. So they have a really cool platform too. I was able to jump in and check it out. Those tokens will go live once V2 goes live. So big update there from the Say ecosystem. I'll drop a link so that you can try to go claim it as well. I'll drop it in the comments section.
Can I add a little bit?
Yeah, of course.
Because I was thinking, and I didn't have a good reply, but I was like, it's something that I've been thinking a lot about, and you and GIF right now talking about. I think it's true. If you do, the leader matters a lot, a leader. But let's be clear, we have seen on occasion, somebody can come up and take that mantle, right? I'm thinking about the Pudgies here, right? And as much credit as you can give Luca, I challenge any of you to go over there and try to give that credit to Luca. I am almost 100% sure Luca will say, I can't take that credit. I have a whole team behind me and I have a fucking community. And that is not an easy thing to bring together and pull off, but I've seen it. I've seen it with them. I've seen it with Proof and Moonbirds, and I've seen it very recently with Cappies on Say. Being able to rally a community around and have people step up and really engage and take the initiative and build is, I don't think you can understate it. And it's very few people that we get to see, right? Because we're all in so many communities. But when you see a leader and a handful of community members really dig in and start to build and rally a community together, you can do magic. And so that to me is, I don't know, very inspiring. It's part of the thing that I keep wanting to double down and lean into a lot more, because I think that's the secret sauce. It's not just the leader. It's not only the leader, and it's not just the war chest, and it's not just the chain. It really is the people around.
Yeah, but I think the people around respond to great leadership and want to be part of great leadership. So it's the same thing, but I'll distill it into like one very simple comparison to me that shows the difference between like what great leadership means versus what it doesn't. And that's Coinbase and FTX. You've got two charismatic leaders, Brian Armstrong and Sam Bankman-Fried. Very different leadership styles. One of them, I would say, is like a generational leader. The other one is locked away in jail. It's like, that's just a stark comparison, but it's the important, the thing is that I think in this decentralized world, we all want to believe that leadership doesn't matter as much as it does. Like, we want to think so much of it comes from the ground up, and sometimes it does. So, like, a lot of memes or NFT communities that develop grassroots, they can go very far that way. However, most projects still rely tremendously on incredible leadership to execute whatever ideas or to distribute it, get it out there, and convince people that these things matter. And so I think it's just an interesting dichotomy or conundrum. You know, I know Biggie is loving that word lately. It's a great word, but this sort of this tension maybe between decentralization and leadership. Or not wanting to always believe that it's as important as it is.
The best projects have all of it, right? Like, that's, I think, I think there are a ton of people that believe, like, maybe with either the thesis around or like the ethos is probably the better word, or some technology advancement that you can like do without one. And I don't think that the best projects are missing either of those 3 or 4 legs to stand on. So, all right, I'm going to move into some other pieces. CyberKongs has been in the news a bunch. The Prometheans have done extremely well. I want to give a shout out to them again. They are putting themselves in the convo. They are innovating. They have, launched this Prometheans collection, and they are mentioning here that that Prometheans stand at the core of this journey, unlocking what lies next. More to come tomorrow. This was posted 30 minutes ago. So, good luck.
I love those guys. Did you guys hear that horn, by the way?
I did.
Okay,
I was wondering what that was.
I was hoping so. It's the Kongs anthem.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I was like, do you live by train tracks, bro? Like,
that's awesome. Dude, Kong's killing it. I don't know. I'm just excited to see whatever they got coming.
Easy as that.
I don't know any decentralized, but it's one of those like sort of top ones that I'm going to be watching to see if I can find a good entry.
All right. This might have been what the ape action was about, Huda. We just saw an announcement here 2 minutes ago here. Bring your apes to life. So they were talking about the 3D avatars, but it looks like this has now just officially gone live here on the BAYC site. So that might have been maybe what caused the spike in price action. But yeah, they have the 3D avatars. Everybody gets their own.
I like that.
Okay. All right. Tell me quickly about this monolith here, and then we'll move into Base Blast. I do want to cover a little bit of what's going on there. We're not going to hit everything.
This is interesting. And maybe I'm going to share a little alpha here, at least a Huda play that I'm definitely considering. Garden Monolith at one point held a $50,000 or so floor price. This is Zancan's most noteworthy collection. This is kind of what put him on the radar, and this dude became a legend for quite a while on Tezos, but also then branched out out onto Ethereum, had work sold at Sotheby's, Christie's, right? Like, he's a dude. Times have changed, you're right. His art is different. He mints these huge, massive edition collections at this point, so it's different. But seeing a Garden Monolith sell for $5,000 boggles my mind. It makes sense. It reflects the sentiment on Tezos. It's not really about Zancan, although there's a little something there, but it's mostly about Tezos and people really being afraid of that ecosystem. With that said, at this price, I am actually very, very tempted to maybe take some of the Bitcoin gains and put it over in one of those. Like, that was a holy grail to me that I would never, ever, ever have the opportunity to own. And just seeing that right now, I'm like, I could own one today if I wanted to. And that might happen. No, I'll tell you this. If I'm thinking like that, there are a bunch of other Zancan collectors who also are not realizing that these are that low. That even if Tezos dies, they're going to support this guy and they're going to go get that thing that they never could before. Just telling you, there's something there.
That would be my follow-up question, Huda. So I appreciate it. I love Zancan too. I totally understand the sentiment. Seeing something sell like at that price, very tempting, right? But then you followed it up with like people being scared in Tezos. You crazy fucking wizard. You'd be like bum rushing in there because I know, and I think you'd be burning that puppy back over to BTC.
I wouldn't. No? It would be ride or die with Tezos, or if there's an official way that Zancan wants to do something. If he wants to officially do that, hell yes. But again, live or die with the blockchain. I'm okay with that. To me, it's more of a sign of support, and also
5K, Huda.
Yeah, easy. Like, and it's not like I've got it to throw around. It's more like these are the dice you roll.
Don't call this man a Bitcoin maxi.
This is
look, that.
The question. The question here is around the opportunity and risk of going into a low volume, maybe / abandoned ecosystem like Tezos. But that's why the opportunity is present, because if this was in a more vibrant ecosystem right now, you wouldn't see this price. So like what he's doing is he's looking for ARB opportunities on high quality grails, like art grails. And I think it's super smart. I don't know in my head what the prices are that I would be acquiring certain things yet. Like I'd have to go try and figure out like what I think those grails are, and then do some math of like what I think is worth the risk to dive further into Tezos, because I've already got some bags there that are just sitting, maybe dead forever. But even Raoul Pal, the macro economist, has come out saying, I think that the ultimate on-chain assets are grail, like art grails. Like I think that those are going to be the things that age the best, more than fucking anything else, even fucking Bitcoin. He's like, what are the grails, the art, fine art, quote, fine art grails on chain? Those are probably going to age the best. So
and
I just want to say I feel very underexposed to having Grail's art. Biggie probably has a ton, and I probably wish I had
the Grail art too.
What was in his bags, because I mostly have like NFT, PFPs, generative art. I have a few Grails and then a bunch of other coins. So like I feel very underexposed, knowing that there's going to be a lot of appreciation at the higher ends of the art NFT.
Well, GIF, I would actually add and focus that, like, hey, and say that many of the most esteemed art blocks artists and respected people in the Web3 ecosystem that do generative art started in Tezos. And that's a great question, right? Like, if the chain dies, does the art die? Only if we fucking let it, because you can take that art and teleburn it over to maybe not Bitcoin. You can turn, I don't know, eventually you'll be able to teleburn to Ethereum. I'm sure there's somebody working on that, though. I mean, Bitcoin makes sense in my opinion, but to me, like, it's, I don't know, it's a solid question to be pondering. I think about it a lot. Huda, my favorite artist, his Genesis piece is also on Tezos, and I've seen some go for very, very, like you said, unheard of prices. And to me, if generative art is going to be here forever, that man's pieces over there, his Genesis collection, is, I don't care if it's on Tezos, right? And like you said, like I would probably buy it, and then it's not something that necessarily you would be able to flip, in the near future. But long term, getting like a Zancan, the one that Huda was showing us, getting him a Pond Dragon, I don't care. Like,
what would you
I just don't know about trusting Tezos tonight, but I guess then you make the decision then, right? Like you can just, like, it's not going to go hopefully lights out overnight, right? So like eventually they'll wind down the chain and things like that.
I think it's going to be interesting, because we are going to see that conversation be brought to bear very soon. And some people will be rubbed the wrong way about it. Some might not. I am very curious to see and to get into that discussion when the time comes.
All right, guys. Look, first of all, I loved that last piece. That last 10 minutes, 12 minutes was really good. And to see a Zancan piece to go for that price is kind of wild.
Would you pay $5K? Let us know in the comments for a Tezos Grail.
Yeah, drop that. Cats Fanatic is saying that that's a Zancan Grail. Lemon GF is saying 5K for a Tezos piece, though. Cat's saying, I miss our Tezos heyday. It was so much fun.
Oh, it was the best. I'll just say this, too. It is also more of a bet, or equally a bet, on Zancan more than it is on Tezos. That Zancan has a lot of supporters who might just not know that they're that low right now.
But I hear you, but I get the Kongs, Doodles, Avagachi feeling when you say that, dude. Like it's more a bet on Avagachi, or it's that's true. But if there's no money on the freaking chain, nobody's gonna buy the shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
But you also can understand that if you do bring that over to say Bitcoin,
yes, I think it's a great
gonna
idea.
want that. Somebody's gonna want that shit even more.
We should get into that.
Like, didn't teleburn it, all of a sudden you reduced supply, and the only things existing are the people that teleburned into Bitcoin. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you know what? We like this probably requires a whole episode to discuss that, because like there are historical pieces now that have been teleburned over. Have they retained value? Like, do people look at them as the original piece? And I don't know. That's what stops me from thinking that option like works. And like I would do that with a piece. But if these pieces that have been teleburned from one chain to another have held that kind of value, then I would actually consider it. Yeah. It'd be fun to get into that more.
Yeah, we can do that tomorrow.
We will.
Listen, man, I definitely wanted to get into the base and blast discussion. That was the topic on the thumbnail today. I don't know if we're gonna get to it.
We're so bad at this.
Yeah, I know. I know. Anyways, because I saved it for the end, and it's like maybe we should just do it up front. But anyways,
right.
I did have one product that I wanted to bring in. This is really dope. I don't do like betting on DraftKings that much. I mean, I might hit a UFC fight here or there, but I am not all over the place. But with on-chain sports betting, I might be tempted to get in here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this might be the last time y'all see me.
Just please tell me.
I'm gonna go down the
fantasy shit.
I am going down the sports betting rabbit hole here. It looks like they offer soccer, basketball, American football, ice hockey, tennis, baseball, and MMA. I'm not. I haven't connected this. I don't want to connect this specific wallet to this website. I don't know if there are any markets live. The token is definitely not live yet. So you can see a fully on-chain P2P sportsbook coming to base, bet on sports, place predictions, play on-chain poker, and more. The token, they made an announcement on it, is not live and trading yet. They mentioned Aerodrome is going to be the official swap. And yes, this is going to be a very interesting product that I might use here on base.
He's going to be betting on all kinds of shit.
Huda's already left. I might not be here, but Huda already left. Like
he went to go buy a Zancan. He'll be right back.
True. Facts.
Look, gambling is a massive thing, and it's all moving on chain. And and it's I think it's interesting. Again, like you kind of did bring in this dichotomy or battle between blast and base into this. It's real, man. Like I thought that more of the gamble-fi degeneracy and that type of DeFi would mainly stand on blast. So to see it also heading over to base as well is interesting, man. It's going to be crazy to see. Like I think it's going to come down to native yield versus Coinbase security. Like I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to like, does native yield create a unique enough value proposition for the builders and the community to be investing over there? Or does just the network and security that Coinbase provides and all the sort of integration possibility there just become too much to...
I'll tell you right now, what we're seeing happening right now on Blaster, with the NFTs, we saw SIRS first, and then today we saw NFT stats. I'm very intrigued about that. I think that is, and right now we're seeing it play out where people are farming gold and certain coins. But in the not too distant future, I can completely see people over there take a similar approach by raising like a massive treasury and saying, "Hey, we're going to refund you, but you're also going to get gains into our ecosystem, and on top of it, you're going to have this NFT," right? Like we hadn't seen that before. I think that's very interesting, and a very interesting use case of the native yield dynamics that are being developed on Blast.
The last time I looked at something and it made perfect sense to me was 404s, and you know what? It just hasn't worked out. I don't know what it was, but this is such an easy narrative to buy into. You're getting NFTs without paying for them. You know, like you're like
just committing your.
I guess the only thing I could think of.
You're missing out on the opportunity cost, right?
Yeah, but again, okay,
another dumb shit.
That's not paying. You know what I mean? Like yeah, like we bring that up every time. You're not paying. That's like saying you're going to the market buying some grapes and you're saying, well, the opportunity cost had I put this into I don't know, a Bored Ape token. It's like, no, you don't think about it that way. Unless you're spending cash, you are not looking at it that way. I'm sorry. Like it's like I get it on the fully degen front. I just mean in general, you are not paying capital to buy these NFTs. And that is a interesting narrative. The only thing saying that out loud that I could maybe play devil's advocate on is that will probably lead to a lot of oversaturation. In my opinion. Like
I think what that's going to lead to is more creative uses of I don't know, more creative applications onto like how you distribute value to the people that do commit to that, right? Like, and we're seeing that with Cirrus right now, and NFT stats with their projects. But honestly, to me right now, that's kind of a no-brainer if you're farming over there. Like, it's an easy passive way as opposed to the other ones, which I've said I hate, like the click and be in front of the fucking computer the whole day. This is a nice passive way to farm gold. I'm not saying you're going to necessarily get rich of it, but I want to see how it's followed up, what the second and third act can be, because I think that's where the real speculation is happening, right? You have these two very prominent social media people in the ecosystem launching these tokens that have been very big blast bulls from the get-go. Great. Like to me, I see it more as like you're kind of joining a community. Like, there's not too many of them, right? 2,000 for Cirruses, and I think like NFT stats is like 200, even like smaller. And they kind of do allude that like this is just, like the get-go, like we'll see what they follow it up with. I want to see that. Like you said, I do think you will see an oversaturation queue, especially if this becomes a thing. But then I think it'll also push the people launching these things to be a lot more thoughtful on like how they're gonna utilize that capital and how they're gonna drive value back to their collectors, which is kind of interesting. It's cool.
This is my first time looking at the dashboard, and I mean, this is already oversaturated. like look at this shit just launched a second ago. Look at how many collections there. I mean,
Now it'd be interesting to see how many. Look at them. Most of them are in zeros. Like I mean, these could very well be people just kind of trying it out, making sure that it works, see how you set it up. But it's very clear who the outliers are. They minted out immediately almost, and it's those two top people, right? Like, I don't know. I think this can definitely be a thing.
Like, I just love to see innovation on NFTs. That's why I like 404s too. I think there's still something to 404s. I don't know that we've seen anybody
100%.
Like we've seen a couple big ones. I'm very bullish on brainworms and legit builders like Crispin, coming in and doing things with these new innovations. And Cirrus is like that. He's like a big legit person coming in and using these new innovations to create more value potentially. I just love to see NFTs continuing to innovate and not just the same old shit being recycled over and over.
All right, well, we are closing out the show. Huda is sports betting right now. We're buying a Zancan. We have other things to be doing as well. Getting on Jellyverse, doing some other things here in the crypto. Touching some grass maybe. So we're gonna get up out of here. Appreciate you guys joining us for, I think somewhere in the vicinity like 470th episode of NFT Live here. It's crazy. Appreciate you guys for stopping by here. We are gonna head out. I'm headed out with the Doge video. I don't care what Biggie Poppins is talking about, but we're gonna watch some of this Doge
Cruella
video.
DeVille.
Wow.
Don't be
back. All right, Biggie Poppins, Gifted, send us out, our Vibe, our tribe, folks. Before you leave a like, repost, comment, do all that good stuff. Thanks.
I'm kidding. I love that stupid Doge. And if that lady was selling like, frozen sperm from it, I'm not a big Doge dog kind of person. I have cousins, but I'd probably get one for him and be like, dude, try this. Get yourself a puppy. Anyways, OVOT fam, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Hope you have a great day. Until then.
Yeah. That Doge, what's his name again, Q?
Kubodo or something.
Kobosu.
Which means lemon.
Kobosu is like the Genghis Khan of Shiba Inu dogs. He's going to have like 10% of the global population is going to be from his unvaxxed Doge sperm sitting in that lady's basement right now. All right, whatever. It's weird. Look, we appreciate y'all. We'll be back tomorrow. Shout out to all the homies. I think I'm gonna drop my first like legit open edition maybe on base in like a week or two. So I'm working on that. Sheesh. And that's it. Our virus.
Right. Folks, stay after. I'm zooming through the video. You've got 45 seconds of video. Even Biggie Poppins is gonna stay and watch this. It'll warm your hearts.
It's important.
Just watch.
Keep
著作権については長い間悩んできました。今まで私の知らないところでカボスの画像を悪用されることがあってとても悲しい思いをしてきました。とても大切なものですし、著作権のそれをお願いするっていうのはなかなか簡単にできることではありませんでした。でも今回オン・ザ・同時の皆様と知り合うことができて、なんて素晴らしい人たちなんだろう。本当にこの目の前にいるカボスをとても大切に愛してくださっているんですね。画像の中の同時ではなくて、カボスカボスって言って皆さんが本当にどんなに深い愛を持っているか、この人たちだったらすごく、安心できる、信頼できる、そしてお願いしたいなっていう気持ちが私の方から湧き上がってきました。はい、ですから今回ね、著作権を、お願いしますというお話をいたしました。オン・ザ・同時の皆さんによってまだカボスを知らない人たちにもカボスを知ってもらえて、皆さんがね幸せな気持ちになってくれたら本当にこんなに嬉しいことはないかなっていうふうに思っています。